based in Ukraine. And I'm Joe McDonald, and this is BigMacs BattleBlog. So, hello everyone. Hope you're having a nice Sunday. Why are we doing a live stream today? Because the algorithm, the beast, demands it. So, so may the algorithm raise me up on high, like those crazy homeless dudes who seem to make a career out of live streaming on here, or like some of the other people. So it's been an interesting couple of days. So hello everyone, Joe McDonald, BigMacs BattleBlog. Happy Easter Sunday, everyone. Been an interesting couple of days. We've opened up a workshop where I will be making gifts that are delivered by drones to the orcs, and also, quite randomly, I only found out yesterday, one of my best friends and my old commander from Herson, from the drone unit, has come on holiday. So he's now in the same village as me. He's been to church this morning. Now he's having a bit of a sleep. We're having a barbecue later on, so that's fantastic. I've been very worried about him. He's been having a rough time down there, nearly died a few times recently. Later on we'll be eating steak together, so that's great. Very enthusiastic about the workshop as well, very happy about that. We're going to be doing a lot of work over the next couple of weeks, welding up the tables, building shelving, setting up the space, and hopefully we're going to be in production in like 2 weeks to start, 4 weeks to full production is basically the goal, and it all seems quite achievable. The local veterans organization came by, and hello everyone. Hello, Beezilla from Bedminster, Bristol. Did we used to drink together by any chance, or are you just part of the random following? But hello either way. Hello, San Francisco. Frisco Street Stories. Oh, do you have a channel? I wonder if that's interesting. But yeah, 3 a.m. Well, I hope you managed to get some sleep. And yeah, hello, Eric. US Maine. The Maine people. Hello, Maine. I get a lot of goodwill from people from Maine. And hello, Florida. No, I've just been speaking. I just got off the phone with Ben, Florida man for Ukraine, Ben the blacksmith, and he's going to help me refresh my connections with the 3D printing world, because we need some stuff in contacts in Ukraine and contacts in Europe, and people to send us parts from this file, which unfortunately, even though it's pretty basic stuff, I can't just share to anyone, because people say, and it might potentially help the Russians, not that it particularly would. They have the same shit. But yeah, thanks. The patch collection is getting pretty good, actually. Thank you for whoever said that. Elevator Hasguidel. Thanks for the compliment on the patch collection. I'm quite proud of it. I'm in the Carpathian Mountains in Ukraine, basically. That's where I live now, and that's where, my workshop is in another town to where I live. Sensibly, it's a little bit of a drive, and that's where I am. But we don't, sadly, I'm not the kind of volunteer organization that accepts random new volunteers to Ukraine. You'd have to be quite established to come and visit me. There are more open, if you want to volunteer in Ukraine, there's loads of open stuff in Lviv, by the way. You start off with making camouflage nets and peeling potatoes, and you build your way up to learning to make killer drones, basically. Well, no more fighting, but I do make things that the army use to do fighting. So, logistics and the home front supply is my focus these days. But the chances of me rejoining the military at some point, probably in some kind of training or real logistics role, are possible. Depends how the situation goes and how effective my volunteer projects are, which is all down to your guys' help at the end of the day. So yeah, So if anyone has any questions for me, Joe McDonald, you know, veteran of the International Legion in 2022 for 8 months, and Herson for nearly 2 years. Drone pilot, a sapper, a workshop and logistics and international aid organizer, and according to the Dutch People's Republic, war criminal. If anyone has any questions for me, feel free. Now we've probably gone over a couple of minutes. Yeah, we're over 5. I'm going to roll a completely normal cigarette, basically, and listen to you. I haven't got a drink with me. I've got a little bit of water. Would you ever train British troops on drone use? Yeah, of course I would. But they haven't asked. Yeah, you know, and frankly, there are much better. Like, if the British Army wants people to train them in drone warfare, you know what they're going to do? They're going to ask Zelensky, listen, we need like 50 guys to train our guys on different sorts of drone warfare. And Zelensky, you know, is going to go, well, either yes, of course you can have them, or we've got a bunch of wounded veterans who'd love to do that job on a private basis. There you go. And they all speak English, and we can provide proper translators, and they're going to be better at it than me. So there you go. No, I'm not British forces. I was in the reserves, or what I always thought of as the TA, but the reserves in Britain, and I'm ex-Ukrainian forces. Now 2 years in Kherson Frontline and 8 months in the Legion Frontline. Well, not all of that 8 months was Frontline, but we were getting blown the fuck up from like 3 days into the war, whatever base we went to. So it felt pretty much like a war, what with all the missiles and everything. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a nice Easter, eating lots of chocolate and having nice times with their families. I don't have a family, so I'm sat in my car waiting for my commander to wake up again, because he's having a lovely nap with his lovely girlfriend in a lovely cabin up the mountain for me after many months hard work at the front. And he turned up yesterday, and later on we're having a fucking barbecue. I'm absolutely honoured and thrilled to have him here, as well as, yeah, genuinely very happy to see him alive. Nearly got killed twice by a drone in the last couple of weeks, and I've seen the videos from the Russians posted a video of nearly killing him twice. I don't know if they know it's him, but because they nearly kill a lot of people in Kherson, and they kill a lot of people. But yeah, you know, fucking great to see him, basically. Thank you Neto, appreciate it. And yeah, thank you Big Jew as well, appreciate it, mate. So yeah, it is a nice hat, isn't it? It's a collection of Italian tweeds. Basically, the Italians have different sorts of tweed based on the region, apparently, and they have hunting clubs based on it, so apparently that's what it is. And yeah, the war is still raging, but these days I run a workshop that I've just set up a workshop that's copying the production of another workshop that makes really high quality casings for drone gifts that we give to the orcs. And yeah, that's basically what I do. And as a sapper, as someone who's made a lot of gifts for the orcs at the front, I saw the value of it. So that's what we're focused on now. And we support all the coolest units: Special Forces, Magyar, Marines, my old brigade, which is 34th Marines in Kherson. Formerly, I was in the 196 Territorial Defence Battalion there, but they changed us to Marines because our main focus was either drone or amphibious warfare. So, you know, we did more amphibious warfare, I think, than probably the Royal Marines or the US Marines have done in quite some time there. Not that I'm trying to gatekeep or be arrogant. It's just a fact. You know, we're fucking week in, week out on the boats. So yeah, fucking very exciting going on a speedboat and getting shelled and stuff like that. You know, big columns of water, but fucking hell, it's dangerous. You know, it's a big old front, Ukraine. Not many places get. A lot of places sort of absorb all the press and the horror and the horror and the glory. But yeah, Kherson infantry missions never got much focus, but it's not much fun getting off a speedboat onto a strip of sand in a swamp where you can't dig a trench, you know. But that's why I got into drones, because I'm a, I wouldn't say I'm a coward, but I didn't see much future in it, basically. What's the feasibility of a large operation to split southern land bridge of the Orcs? The entrenchment is dense, and you can see there's maps of it. There's open source maps on Google of the Russian fortifications across the neck in Crimea. And yeah, it'd be a serious thing. But I've always thought that Crimea is the sort of pivotal strategic landmass in this war. Taking the Donbass, I just think it's too horrible an endless grind. If you can cut off the neck for supplies and cut off the bridge for supplies, then they've got to fly or boat everything in. There's not enough water to sustain the Crimean population without it. So that is an actual strategic landmass where, with enough resources that we don't quite have right now, or the correct reuse of resources and other things, you know, we potentially could. But yeah, it's definitely not tomorrow, you know, that's for damn sure. Yeah, there's plenty of mercenary work in the Gulf states for people who've been drone pilots over here, or drone technicians or whatever now, but I have no plan on involving myself in a conflict like that, you know. There's hope for turning Ukraine into a sensible democracy like the rest of Europe. There's no hope over there. Learn the language, Hans. If you want to come to Ukraine and fight as a drone pilot, learn Ukrainian. Learning Ukrainian is basically unlocks all training and promotion. And come with a bit of money. Like, don't come to Ukraine completely fucking broke. If it means getting a credit card, get a credit card. Have a couple of €1,000 in your pocket, and don't go on the piss, and do a little bit of volunteering in Lviv, and then, like, you know, use that to find out, look, where do I go on, because just going to a drone school is something you can access as a civilian, you know. So yeah, get some thanks for the 2, Bob. Jack Russell, appreciate it, mate. So going to a drone school as a civilian is totally possible in Ukraine. So yeah, let me just scroll back to see if I've missed anyone, because I'm doing my best to answer all your questions. Oh, your grandfather invaded Panama. It's interesting. I went there on holiday once. Pretty cool story though. Like, yeah, that was they fought back. It wasn't Grenada. Panama was not Grenada. There was definitely some nasty scrapping in the jungle. And having been in the Panamanian jungle as a tourist, it's definitely big boys terrain. That there's just a lot of stuff that will just kill you, fuck you up really, but make you horribly sick really quickly if you're not careful. And, you know, yeah, proper fucking, or yeah, diseases they haven't discovered yet, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, fair dues to your granddad. Denotafin. So yeah, glass fiber cables in some cases. I mean, it does have a bit of a tangle wire effect. Yeah. Interestingly, I was hearing the other day that they've developed a bit of a new technique for interfering with the cables, because the problem with the glass. Oh, thanks for getting a membership, Vashes, who I assume is from the Czech. Is a Czech rather. So yeah, what was I saying? Fucking fiberglass cables. Yeah, apparently black, you know, when they're lying in wait, because you can the thing with those fucking things is they're a lot easier to just like land, and then you wait for a car to come past or some people to appear and you launch in then. So if they get spotted, putting a powerful laser on the fiber optic cable apparently can basically interrupt the signal and like fuck it up, you know. So I'm not, again, haven't got that much practice or much for information, but apparently it works. So that's what I've been told. Health is like I've still got problems with, like, I need to go back to the hospital because I've definitely still got problems with like my gallbladder and prostate, that kind of internal kind of soreness thing is kind of back. But yeah, my lungs are a lot better, and I've got way more energy than I used to. So, getting there. Yeah, planning on just focusing on work now and making that my, thing, because I like making a project run well. So I've got something. I've had nearly a year off since I left the army, and I didn't do fuck all for most of that time, and now I've got a successful project running again, and we're genuinely helping the army again, or will be very, very soon. So that's great, and that's enough to have achieved in a year. So just focus on that. If I can get that fucking pumping with the last 2 months of the year since I left, then everything's fucking great, isn't it? I smoke way less. This is a cigarette, by the way. It's a cigarette I just rolled myself. It's nothing else, you know. So, anyone got any questions? Oh, could FPV drones tow cable cutters to rip up? I don't think an FPV would be the right thing for it because it's still quite a light object and they're surprisingly strong things. I saw a ground robot the other day that basically just had a big, long bar of steel going from the top, like that was just acted like a sort of bridge in front of it, and that just lifts the stuff over it or cuts it either way. So that's a thing for ground robots, but you definitely do need to consider something like that on a ground robot. I think little Boudicca style blades on the wheels is obviously the way forward. Oh yeah, it was odd. Some of the people in the comments were like actually getting annoyed when I said I had problems with both my gallbladder and my prostate. They were like, but they're in different places. It's like, did you know it's possible to have more than one health condition at a time, especially after a prolonged period of stress and body neglect, like being at the front for 2 years? Right, medical experts. So, yeah. New anti-drone rifle rounds that America is testing. No, I haven't seen the ones America is testing. I've seen those sort of 3D printed with ball bearings inside, or tube of thermoplast with ball bearings inside things. It's just all cope, mate. It's all cope, right? The best thing to shoot like a pellet type thing is a shotgun. It's always going to be better than a rifle at doing that. It's the wrong tool for the fucking job. And the problem with shooting drones with shotguns is you need to be fucking close. And imagine trying to shoot a Mjolnir, one of those Russian fixed wing grades with a TM62 tried to the front, and that's swooping in on your position. Do you want to start taking pot shots at a flying anti-tank mine? You know what I mean? It's all cope. Like, I would definitely want to have a shotgun for when I go to the front, / for who the fuck is that breaking into my house at 3 a.m? They're not running away. That means they're not a burglar, type situations, because assassination, it's the thing I have to think about. But yeah, I don't really think that actually a shoulder operated weapon is ever going to be the optimum thing for knocking down FPVs, Mavics, small fixed wing drones. I know Rick the Ukrainian. I've said hello on a couple of his comments since I got my channel back going, and Rick hasn't said hello back, but as far as I'm aware, me and Rick are still friends. We definitely maintained friends after the whole me falling out with Greg Terry debacle and that. So yeah, me and Rick are cool. If Rick ever wanted to have me on a stream again for the evening, it'd be nice. I mean, the thing, you can put all kinds of crazy things in a shotgun, But you know, there's if you want to understand more about shotgun ballistics, I don't think a lot of people understand much about ballistics. There's a good YouTube channel called Taflodermus with Officer Greg, right? You should be able to find that. Officer Greg testing novel shotgun rounds, right? You'll find it with a bit of Google or YouTube search. And yeah, you know, if you put weird stuff in, aerodynamics works against it. You know, there was some dude, I had to be on some god awful fucking um Zoom call with a bunch of guys who like wanted to suggest ideas that we could use to combat drones a year or so back. And one of them was like having a shotgun round in like an underbarrel grenade launcher because it's big and wide, so more pellets, so good her. But like these motherfuckers obviously don't understand how pressure works. You know, if you pack too much, if you don't put enough gunpowder in that, they're just going to go meh out the barrel. And if you put too much in, you'll blow it up. You need like thick metal around explosives to contain it, or it opens your own face up when you shoot the thing. So yeah, shooting down like FPVs and stuff is super fucking hard. Really, it's going to be, I reckon what we're going to end up with is like roof mounted automatic systems that can detect and shoot these things down with something like a belt fed brass cased 10 plus gauge shotgun, right? And maybe having like a dual system, so you've got one barrel as shotgun and another barrel as perhaps even like low pressure 20 millimeter rounds, you know, so you could be more thinking about shooting down all hands and stuff like that. Who knows, you know? But then the problem is, once you've got a robot gun, the robot gun you have to be really confident that the robot gun that can shoot on its own isn't going to shoot your guys, especially when everything gets covered in fucking mud, or sensors aren't working properly, or you know, whatever. So yeah. Hey, Capon, mate, Capon, right? Do us a favour. Can you send us a little fucking email, and then we can have phone numbers again. I'd like to speak to you and Louis as well. That'd make me happy. But yeah, I hope you and Otter and the missus are great and everything's fine in your life. Good friend of mine is Oak Tree. Very good friend of mine. Let's have a look, see. Anyone asking me anything? Rick Ukrainian, I covered that. I mean, yeah, there's existing buckshot rounds like that are for like turkey, goose hunting, that are the optimum things for smashing a drone out the sky. Basically, that's it. But you know, you want the right chokes and stuff, but still, though the speed those things for like if we're talking FPV or a wing bomber coming at you, that shit moves quickly, and most of the time your optimum survival strategy is going to be get behind or inside something, be it a trench, a building, whatever, you know. If you end up having to shoot at the thing, it's, you know, you might hit it, but also you might make the bomb it's carrying go off, and then you've got an airburst situation, which can be worse. So there is no, if you do this, you're okay thing you can do or weapon you can carry against it. Sadly, you know, you've all seen the videos, fucking meat grinder in it. Yeah, Cap on my email is joecrowpanama@gmail.com. It's normally in the comments or the description on my pinned comment on my videos. But yeah, thanks for the tenner, mate. Appreciate it. I promise to spend it on peaceful purposes. I'll buy a kettle for the workshop. I don't think war was it was probably like, I mean, there are examples of battles in history where there was lots and lots of casualties, but most of the time, I think as soon as a few people got hurt, it was quitsies, you know. So yeah, it probably was more fun. I mean, there's things like the Athelstan ball game in England, which is basically like two villages fighting over a football, traditional, original village football style, but they're all chavs these days, you know what I mean? That shows you that, like, yeah, you know, like, sort of a certain amount of horrific violence is quite a lot of fun. But yeah, I reckon it probably, you know, it probably stops being fun after a certain number of people, whatever weapon set you're using. Okay. Thought I'd clean my face before this. Yeah, failed suicides happen. I know a dude shot himself in the head 3 times and then lived for a week. Poor silly bastard, you know. Should have never been over here. Yeah, I do. By the way, volunteer network. I am gonna currently, like, I know Protect Ukraine, Netherlands for Ukraine probably wouldn't mind sending me stuff over, but yeah, I need to work out a volunteer network for people to send things to me again. Maybe Surprise Supplies with Lindsay, who I used to work with. I need to refresh that contract, but yeah, I would appreciate like a couple of thousand Yorkshire tea bags at the moment. Yeah. How's the pupper doing? Yeah, but well, we don't really have neighbours in the countryside. He is definitely does want to like fuck all the female dogs, and most male dogs like he wants to fight, but they also want to fight him. Like things are a lot more manageable in the countryside. There's a bunch of strays around here, and Onesock has asserted his dominar over them. So you know, it's fine. It's just, you know, the whole drama came because like in places like Kiev and Lviv, there's a lot of like rich women with stupid little dogs that are like that bit a couple of them bit him when he was a puppy and he hated them after that, you know. Easter ceasefire. Well, since I'm not at the front, I can't say it's genuine or not. I have been through a couple of these supposed religious holiday ceasefires. I think they were usually Easter over the last few years, and people were definitely still shooting. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. You know, it's just politics and like things that people say because that's what they do at that time of year. Mm. 3 times damn. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, if anyone's got any questions for me, feel free. You know, totally happy to answer all your inquiries. Yeah, it would be nice if Russia was free. The book has not, still, frankly, I haven't made any progress on it. My laptop's broken. Lloyd, I basically lost a few different files of the book. Lloyd has the edited version of it. It's been a bit of a fucking nightmare, really. Like, I was just about to restart it, and then my laptop broke and basically set me back, and I've been busy making the workshop and stuff like that. But you know, one of the things we're making at the workshop is an office for me and another person, so because I work better when there's another person around, so I'm offering free office space to my friends because Joe does more when there's someone else in the room. I don't hate Russians, I just hate the regime that they work under. I used to have lots of Russian mates in Berlin. It's not a racial thing for me in the slightest. Do you do anything with Sigma? Yes, we do. Won't say technically what, but yeah, we used to have FPVs and sometimes matrices and sometimes aquadrones and sometimes ground stations as repeater centers. But all have their various problems, limitations, own susceptibility to the enemy's stuff. thanks for spamming with the Jesus stuff, Grayson. I mean, it might be a bit like counterproductive to your own efforts to bring Christians into more Christians into the faith, you know. But like whatever, dude. Do you know what I mean? It's engagement. Like the algorithm doesn't care, and neither do I. Nah, drones haven't made decoys irrelevant. Some of the decoys are pretty fucking good. And at the end of the day, if you're talking about decoys for like AA systems, arty, tanks, that kind of shit, then it's pretty easy. You know, they cost quite a few $1,000s, those things, in the same way that like a child's bouncy castle costs a few $1,000s. So, you know, you can set them up with heat systems and stuff like that. So, yeah, totally. Like, it's totally worth having, you know, 10 fake HIMARS for every one real HIMAR we do, and just like going out and setting them up of an evening, driving off if they haven't been blown up, packing them down again in the morning. Totally worth doing that. What do you think about counter drones like the interceptors? I mean, yeah, I mean, pretty much, you know, pretty much a Ukrainian innovation. They did sort of exist in a sporting mode already. The ones that look like an old-fashioned rocket ship or dildo. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. There's that we've got guys that are knocking down Shaheeds over in the Middle East as well. And there was a Ukrainian pilot knocked down a Shaheed from 500 kilometers distance the other day with one of them, and that's like a total game changer. Because it's obvious, but I think a lot of people don't quite get with air defense that a lot of it, the missile or the fighter plane has to be good enough to basically fly over the fucking top of you, give or take a kilometer or so each way, you know. Especially in the case of like AA guns and stuff. I don't, I'm never gonna have mods and admins on my channel ever again. Like, if people want to write a load of pro-Russian crap in the chat, or if they want to spam a load of stuff about Jesus or about conspiracy theories, it's a bit annoying, but at the same time, it does feed the algorithm beast, and they'll get tired eventually, you know. Like, someone, you know, messaged me the other day. Maybe they're listening now, and they messaged Lloyd, and I thought they wanted to ask me something about did I, you know, about how drones work against how camouflage can work against thermal cameras, and they were asking. It was actually about, I've got this system that I think can trick AI, and it's like, AI in this war on drones is a bag of wank. It's a bag of wank. It's not very good. It's like an extra thing. It involves an expensive microchip. Do you know what's better than AI? A 23-year-old who's good at computer games, plays a bit of football, is in good health, can train him quicker. You know what I mean? Like, can train him quicker, and he's better. But, you know, we're not allowed to, pistols are extremely hard to get a license for in Ukraine. I will soon own a shotgun. It's probably gonna be, I'm probably gonna get like a couple of shotties, like one that's definitely for if I go somewhere I think there's drones, and one that's shorter and handier for home defense, basically. Probably both in semi-auto. And you know, if it turns out they don't, the good thing about Turkish shotguns is they're only a couple of £100 a pop. So if the one you buy doesn't quite run, you can get another. They're pretty much clones of Mossbergs and Berettas at the end of the day. You know, you can get Turkish Glock clones that run exactly as well as a Glock now. So yeah, I'm not about brand when it comes to tools. I'm about I'm about component quality. Okay, well done, Grayson. You're definitely convincing a load of people that they're not gonna go to church this Sunday, which I already did, by the way. Yeah, you crack on, mate. Keep giving me the algorithm boost. I mean, the thing is, like, loads of guys want a pistol, but like, put it like this: I carried someone else's pistol for quite a while in Kherson because there was a reason for me to have a pistol at the time. And yeah, you know, if you're actually aware of like what an assault rifle is capable of, a pistol, apart from the only time you really want one is if you're worried about someone coming up to your car window and shooting you in the head or grabbing you in a hallway, or, you know, in a battle situation, you'd much rather have fucking magazines, extra mags, and extra grenades. Way better than a fucking pistol. I would, if I could get a really, really short, light, like 32 caliber revolver, like a little tiny fucking pocket pistol that I can still go like bam, you know, and just point at someone's face from like, you know, couple of yards distance, like, or fighting distance. And yeah, because revolvers don't fucking jam ever, and you can put them right up against someone. That's the only sort of pistol I'd bother with if I was in a battle soldier wearing armor and a helmet situation. They're a bag of wank. Films make us think that they're brilliant. I'm a good shot with a rifle. They're really difficult to hit things with. Yeah, like pistols are stupid. Rifles hardly kill anyone in this war as well. Explosives do all the work. Pistols have no real use in, yeah, they have use in like situations like that where you think you're Mr. Merman, by the way, yeah, his granddad used to open the door with a pistol because he was worried about, I guess, the KGB. And yeah, but anyone, I missed anything worth reading here? Stable have always been important. Yeah, well, yeah, you know what's funny though, the most stable and useful comms available now are not in any way on military radio or any secret military system we have. It's all Signal, mate. Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram. And the amount of information that you can translate with a, you know, a sophisticated Samsung or iPhone is absolutely amazing. And of course, sure, there's a security risk to it, but it turns out that the gains massively outweigh the risks. And I think the Ukraine conflict has proved that a lot. You know, it's probably the first conflict where soldiers have just pretty much had a phone on them all the time, you know. And yeah, it's something that people don't really talk about as a notable factor, but it really fucking is. You know, like any soldier with a bit of a brain and the vaguest understanding of maps and coordinates can act as a forward observer now in real time with video and HD photos and a variety of map applications. Oh, the ghillie stove is actually in the workshop. So I got it back the other day with my stuff from Kherson. CB9s. Is that the like rigid raider thing? We had a couple of fancy military-esque boats around and some British donated inflatable or rigid inflatables, but they use all sorts, you know. And yeah, attrition is high, you know. Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it, BM Merman. What was I doing before I went to Ukraine? I've done a lot of things over the years. Worked in construction, worked in like festival organisation. You know, worked in forestry. Yeah, run pubs, all kinds of things, you know. But like right before I went to Ukraine, it was like we'd only just come out of COVID lockdown. So fucking yeah, like whatever work I could get at the time then. Oh, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a nice time in Belgium. And yeah, yeah, perhaps Ukraine was indeed my destiny, you know. But yeah, please, yeah, do what you can to boost the channel, guys. Like, subscribe. If you leave a comment once this uploads, again, it helps it. Do you know what I mean? It help if you get more than like 100 comments on a live stream after it was published. Then like apparently that gives it a big boost up. You know, I've been watching videos about how to boost the live stream, but most of it's from like fucking like annoying American teenagers and girls doing makeup tutorials. So like finding the actual technical information I want's quite difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, spend a lot of money on stuff and, you know, I'm not, yeah, not me. Glory to Ukraine, indeed. Heroyam Slava. Yeah, I'm staying in Ukraine for sure, man. I'm entitled to a piece of land, slash house in Ukraine. And there is like that's like sort of on hold at the moment, but I am gonna, yeah, try and keep up. Messages being intercepted or triangling location. Well, I mean, the messages being intercepted normally, well, it depends what your messages are. If you're lowly infantry, there's not a lot, unless you're just giving away your position, then there's not a lot you fucking know about, really, you know. Like, yeah. But if they are intercepting your messages, it's probably part of a bigger intelligence campaign and they're trying to do something. But yeah, if they've triangulated a location and they know you're there, well, they're going to start dropping something on it, aren't they? You know, could be mortars, could be a fucking cab or a missile. So who knows? It's everything's context, isn't it? I agree. That is a good question. MG99673. If Jesus was from the Middle East, why does he have a Mexican name? Exactly. Read the scriptures. Yeah, and please, if you do want to bother your ass in a couple of hours' time, just click on. Oh, Joe did a live stream earlier. I'll leave a comment under it. You know. Sean Ryan. Who the fuck's Sean Ryan? Is he that bald dude who interviews all the gravy seals? Yeah, I don't watch that bollocks. Fucking, you know. Well done. You're all highly skilled at shooting people in fucking flip-flops and towels. I mean, couldn't give a fuck. Couldn't give a fuck. Yeah. I mean, we've had some really experienced American and British soldiers coming over here who've done really well. But I think, yeah, a lot of guys just weren't. They saw the videos of Kyiv and you see videos from cool units and people sort of somehow get it into their heads that it's like that all the time. And you know that there is some magic unit where there is no artillery and there are no drones and you can just do cool hostage rescue CQB shit, and it's a fucking fallacy. But there's an endless amount of dudes who sort of still believe in it somehow. Yeah. No, I mean, but when you say been to the front, Sean, like FPVs and Mavics operate at like light mortar distance, like 1, 2, 3-ish kilometers to the enemy, you know. So yeah, you're very much still at the front in a war like this. You know, like tanks used to shoot at me on a regular basis, as well as artillery and drones and grabs, and you know, occasionally being in places we have to worry about snipers. So yeah, but yeah, I've been on a bunch of infantry missions in Kharkiv and Kherson. Was on infantry missions, amphibious infantry missions in Kherson. So yeah, I've been towards the pointy end, but I haven't got any, Audrey Murphy stories of my own. Snipers are they're not redundant if you're defending a building or city. They're not then, because you're indoors and you've got way more like ability to hide your thermal signature. Lying out in a field or a forest camouflaged and expecting not to bleed heat after a relatively short amount of time, especially if you've got to infill on foot. I don't give a fuck what fancy clothing company or secret military technology they come up with. Thermodynamics exists, and hard rules of the material world and physics will come up against whatever fancy plan you guys have. But yeah, snipers from inside a building and DMRs, like, people with a full power semi-automatic magazine fed rifle when lots and lots of people are trying to assault your position, are good. In the same way that machine guns are still good. Machine guns, by the way, shoot just as far as sniper rifles with a similar degree of accuracy in many cases, and shoot way more bullets. Snipers are just like swordsmen, you know? It's the bit that we focus on because it looks the fucking coolest, but it's actually a very, 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 very small part of medieval warfare. Most of it was done with a spear, So yeah, snipers, meh, I mean, there was a time where everyone thought they were the most cowardly, people in the military, and everyone was disgusted by them. And then it turned into them being the heroes, right? And now drones, all the snipers and infantry hate fucking drones. You know what I mean? But who knows where the social ethos will be about that in 100 years' time, you know? About a week since I used the shovel, because I poo into a bucket in a shed. I have a compost toilet, so I dug a hole to empty the bucket about a week ago. That's the last time I used the shovel. M6973. It's clearly a pro-Russian channel. How is this a pro-Russian channel? Or what is? Have I missed something there? Why don't I like Willie OAM? Because he's a pederasty, basically. Because he's a fucking pro-Russian piece of shit, with incredibly skewed content. And he does that face, which I do to take the piss on like one or two thumbnails, and he does all the time. And yeah, and fuck off, wankers, And he wears stupid suits that a 1950s American dodgy car salesman would be ashamed of. Is infantry equipment changed due to the dominance of drones? Well, more dudes have shotguns, and some people have magazines with the ball bearing encased in either tubes or 3D printed bullets, stuff. So yeah, kinda. And yeah, you're definitely willing to sacrifice a lot of stuff that you might have gone, it's heavy, but I'll take it in the past, Now, I don't know. I've never really watched a lot of Sivdiv's content. I don't really know the guy, so I don't really have an opinion on him. He's clearly been here and done the work. What he does with all the money he must get, because I get quite a bit of money, but I spend it on stuff to stop the enemy. I don't know how much of his donations or whatever or YouTube money he puts in, but yeah, I've never heard anyone call him a piece of shit, and the infantry grumble about soldiers grumble and gatekeep and bitch about other soldiers. It isn't all band of brothers. Most of us don't like each other, you know what I mean? there's no way that the like a peace deal with the current situation would mean that the military would tell the government to fuck off. No, do you know what I mean? Not going to happen. There's another one called History Legends, and he has a little Ukrainian flag around when he talks, and I'd like to take that flag and fucking feed it to him one of these days, you know. I think he's Serbian or something like that, but yeah, he's a piece of shit as well. Who, like, at least I've got the honesty and decency. Like, while I do not hate the Russian people, the Russians currently are the enemy, and so are their allies. You know, that's where I'm at, right? You know what I mean? I don't pretend, you know, while I might respect them in the sense that you respect a dangerous dog that's well capable of hurting you, you know, I don't respect them like their principles and fucking views on the world and why it's okay they're doing this, you know what I mean? There's, you know, yeah, people like use respect as some blanket term, you know what I mean? It means specific things. What's on my hoodie? Warrior dogs. Made by the good people at MTAC, a wonderful company who've also produced this lovely range of embroidered flower patches in the trident that I bought the other day. Wonderful company, MTAC. You know, they do a lot of things and perhaps could do with more international representation than they do with the great guys at Northline International. So yeah, got an email. You could send me an email. Yeah, I went to a military shop in Lviv the other day and bought some stuff. I also managed to, where's it gone? Yeah, I managed to complete. I gave away my issued Legion patches to a Ukrainian artilleryman on the Kharkiv counteroffensive. So I got my 1st Battalion Legion patch back. So the collection is there. And when my stuff came back, the most important patch in my whole collection, my equipage patch from Kherson, Limbo FPV. There's only about 5 of these exist in the whole world. And the guy, yeah, Misha, may rest in peace, was the commander of that crew. And yeah, I'm super happy I got this back. You couldn't fucking buy this off me for 10 grand, you know. And also, you know, some people carry a picture of Jesus, others of the Buddha. I carry Robert Downey Jr. in Tropical Thunder. Never go full retard. YouTube gun channel. Forgotten Weapons, obviously. And there's a British one called The Armourer's Bench that I like. Shout out to Tab, The Armourer's Bench. El Kudos. You fucking hell. You remembered how to spell his last name. I'm impressed. Well, I don't know what I'd need in Kharkiv, Mr. Slaughter, at the moment, other than 3D printing people. But there's probably 3D printing networks in Lviv that are just, and Ivano, that are just like, well, more logistically sensible for me. But yeah, you know, it is good to have established, you know, I'm an old veteran now. So like, I've been here for 4 years. So like, if I don't know someone I know knows them. So sometimes I've got to ask and it takes a day or two, but I you know, I have friends in every city in Ukraine who can be trusted as well. But yeah, the new MTAC, I do play video games, and you know what? I'm actually a little, a confession, if you will. I am going to spend about $1,500 of money you guys have sent me on a laptop. About 4 years ago, I bought a laptop in Kharkiv with the money I was paid from the Legion. And I paid about 25,000 hryvnias at the time, and the exchange rate was better then. So it was like a $700 laptop, and I thought it was fine. The other day, after getting it fixed, I tried to put World of Tanks on it because I thought, you know, I'll spend more time on the laptop if I've got a computer game on there, because that's something I wouldn't play for hours. You know, I'd play it for half an hour, get bored, and then decide to do some writing. And my laptop is not big enough to fucking take World of Tanks anymore. And it won't take any of the editing software that people recommended for me. So to make the channel work, which is where the money comes from, which is where the workshop comes from, which is where helping comes from, we're going to spend some money on a laptop. A lot of you have sent me money over the years for get something for the dog, go and have a beer. I literally fucking never have. You know, I had wages, I didn't need to. But one time a Canadian dude sent me money. An officer in the Canadian Army sent me money that he very specifically said was a gift for myself. So I bought a Makita. I bought a high-end Makita drill, which I use for drilling into bombs. But it's my fucking drill, my tools, not the unit's tools, mine. So now we're going to get a laptop, which will be used to edit videos, manage the workshop, because we need to do fucking rotors and Excel and stuff like that as well, and emails with suppliers and all of that. And yeah, you know, and play World of Tanks. I spoke to the guys at the start, and they were like, yeah, you can make a YouTube video, like, don't film like on position, or unless it's like a blank wall, don't film outside the positions, don't show anyone's faces unless they're cool with it. That's pretty much it. You know, there were a couple of times early on when there were like people going like, oh, because we had some fucking we had some infantry British dude with us. He's just a fucking cunt, basically, as many of them are. And yeah, he was like, oh, you fucking gave away our position. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you said there was tall trees by the position. It's like, have a look at the map of Kherson. Have a look at the map of any Ukrainian city. The Soviets fucking loved the tree-lined boulevard, and they loved the park as well. There's tall trees fucking everywhere. People have tall trees in the gardens. So saying that your position is near some tall trees is a bit like saying that your position is made of concrete. It's like, oh, fuck me. He's only narrowed it down to a couple of 100,000 locations now. They'll find us any moment. Fuck off. You know, the reason that the OPSEC rules are so strict is, generally speaking, the senior management policy of most militaries is they don't want their soldiers talking about nothing, right? Like, the less they know, the better, about all things. So yeah, but you know, if you're in you know, Ukraine provided some unique challenges, and one of them was we don't have enough stuff, you know, and also we speak a funny language, and us Ukrainians speak a language that isn't widely spoken in the world, and we have an alphabet that isn't widely understood in the world. So we need people to be spokesmen for us, and also to coordinate all this international aid and material that comes in that happens in an alphabet and language that we don't understand. So there you go. I made myself useful. Let's have a look back. I haven't tried OpenShot, but I will make a name of, I will remember that. And yeah, so I'm gonna get, like, yeah, my mate Pavel, who's a journalist and already makes content and stuff, is gonna, and his cousin Ilya, who's a priest and one of Ukraine. By the way, yeah, you know, like all the people banging on about Jesus, I'm literally friends with a load of priests over here, you know, like, it's, I think that'd be probably quite unusual for someone in England, but yeah, you know, priests, Christianity is part of the fabric of society to me, and you know what, they don't have any fucking problem with the fact that I'm a filthy agnostic, pagan unbeliever, you know, but it's a lot, yeah, they all have families over here, so, you know, they're a lot more normal than some of the priests you might get in the West. In fact, you have to have a family to be a priest over here. Oh, I said we had positions along the river once, and it's like, what? It's like when someone says something's over there, right? There is not a direction. It's not a place. It's not a time. It's not an angle. It's not a bearing on a compass. It's just over there. Have you even pointed in the right direction when you said over there? It means fucking nothing. So saying something is along or around somewhere is equally non-descriptive. But it's amazing how much you can make people who are technically trained military people's eyes bulge with such storytelling down. You know, I mean, I used to drink down pubs and work in nightclubs. Do you think I don't know how to tell a story without telling anyone, like, no details, you know? I haven't been in contact with Brandon. Brandon's doing great things in Ukraine and is probably very busy on a medic point now. And if he's not very busy, he's getting some well-deserved rest. But we don't really chat anymore. Yeah, there's loads of medieval blacksmiths in Ukraine. There's a bunch of blacksmiths around me. I was thinking of getting a couple of medieval cutlasses made just for fun. But I'd actually like a couple of I'd like some cutlasses and some sabers made, but HEMA sabers, so they'll have like a rolled end but like distal taper, so it handles right, but not sharp. And not pointy, so I can get back into doing a bit of HEMA because I like it. Historical European martial arts, for those who don't know. So yeah, I used to do Fiore, which is like Italian longsword, bit of Lichtenau, German longsword, and a little bit of Maya saber. So yeah, and thank you, Kenjitsuka. You know, thank you for the support. I've always assumed you're Japanese. Are you Japanese? You know, I like the variety of different nations I have supporting me. There's quite a lot of you. So yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a bit odd, the whole I just respect soldiers from either side, you know, and it's like, well, I mean, that's a bit like sort of being you know, when the Second World War was going on and the Germans were like, you know, blitzkrieging all of fucking Europe, you didn't get to be an independent, non-biased reporter at that time. And you know, you can't just 1 minute be interviewing someone from a British tank regiment who's fighting the last defense, you know, and then pop across the lines to speak to SS Panzer Group Führer Hans Richter about how well things are going and expect people to think that you're not a fucking cunt at the end of the day. Because if your army is the one that's doing all the invading and, you know, the massacres and the fucking, you know, the Bukas and the Irpins and the Melitopol's and Mariupol's and what they did to people I know in Kherson under occupation, yeah, the whole like respecting the soldiers thing of both sides, stick that up your fucking arse, you fucking prick, Willie, you know. Were you in the service? If you don't know, mate, I served in where's the badge gone? I served in 1st Battalion, International Legion, from March to October in 2022. And so that included the Kharkiv counteroffensive. And I served in this battalion, the 196 Territorial Defence Regiment in a brigade battalion in Kherson, which became this, the 34th Marines in Kherson for like just under 2 years I was there. So yes, I have been in the service. Who's Ruta? Is that another word for Russia? No, don't worry about it, Alan. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. Yeah, just trying to answer your question, mate. I'm sorry if I came across as being grumpy or something. I didn't mean to. Oh, right. Like who? Like NATO might as well be the fucking Salvation Army for all I fucking care. Right? I think they're a stone round our neck. I think they're too much of a committee that can't get anything fucking done. I think Finland and Sweden and the Baltics and Poland and Romania would be much better off making a military alliance with if it could secure German, French, and British Air Force, naval, and nuclear backing. Then yeah, that would be a powerful military alliance with enough people with a shared goal and problem, i.e., the fucking Russians, to actually be effective. NATO, not effective. It's like the UN, useless, done basically in charge of a needlessly big budget and don't do anything useful with it. You guys have seen what I could do with what I've done with $500,000 fucking dollars. If I had the fucking kind of budget that the regional UN coordinator down in Kherson did, I would have had a fucking new city built there by now. But like, fucking useless, the UN. It's a scam. It's just jobs for the boys. It's just jobs for middle-class people and corrupt politicians, It's like a little fucking reward job working for the UN. Complete bullshit. Doesn't do anything useful whatsoever. And neither does NATO, It's like fucking the audacity sometimes that you see like British Forces News and they're like, Russia intimidated by RAF planes doing trials over the Black Sea. No, they're fucking not. Like, I would not be intimidated by the planes of another nation flying along the border of Ukraine unless I thought we were at war. Because if we're not at war, they're not going to shoot at me. And things that don't shoot at me don't intimidate me. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks, Pimp Dougal. Appreciate it. Yeah. A horse good designed by a committee. Yeah, that's probably a fair fucking assessment. Yeah, like seriously, like the Poles, the Finns, the Swedes, and the Romanians together, maybe the Czechs, be nice if the Germans wanted to commit. You know what I mean? Like, at least with the fucking Air Force, and the Dutchies with the Air Force and the Danes, you know what I mean? Maybe the Norgies would give us a hand with a bit of Navy stuff, Fucking Britain and France can guarantee the nuclear side of thing. What do we actually need the Yanks for against Russia? I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the help. But if those entities work together, then, yeah, we're more than capable, of keeping a fucking thumb on Russia, because we've all got a very real existential threat and problem with it, you know what I mean? It's different for the Americans. But what's my absolutely favorite Ukrainian dish? Bograch, and it's not even Ukrainian, but most Ukrainian restaurants say it's a Bulgarian or Hungarian spicy soup. I do like a good borscht with garlic bread and beef. But yeah, borscht is only really good when it's done with beef, in my opinion. I like green borscht with rabbit. But yeah, I like the quality of ingredients in Ukraine. And I like Ukrainian food, but it's not a cuisine culture at the end of the day, Uzbek cuisine is banging. I absolutely love Uzbekistani food, But yeah, like it's that I've come up with it that the Uzbeks are like the Lebanese of the Russian Arabs. Because all the Middle Eastern countries agree that Lebanon makes the best food. Even the Israelis say that. So yeah, Uzbeks are the top food of the Russian Arabs, because all the Uzbek restaurants I've been to have been clean, beautiful. Everyone's wearing their own clothes. No one's in a dirty uniform. Everyone's wearing their own clothes from home. They're clean. It's nice, and it's all beef and lamb. I'm much more into beef and lamb than I am into chicken and pork at the end of the day. So yeah, shame I won't be going there on holiday, you know, at least until things very much change. But yeah, plov kicks ass. You know, but the great thing about the Uzbek places is they're open at 10 in the morning. And for me, like on a cold day, a nice bowl of soup and a plate of rice and meat with a few chickpeas and a bit of vegetables is a fucking great way to start your day. You know what I mean? I want that much more than because you don't get much by the way of savoury breakfast over here. You know, I do miss a fry up, and while there is a million different ways of pork, you don't see back bacon over here. I'd be willing to do things to someone, you know, either violent or sexual, for like a really decent crispy bacon sandwich. I reckon it's been a long time. Sausages just aren't the same. Well, my commander got back from Kherson to here yesterday. Came on leave, came straight to see me, and yeah, it's a lot different to when I was there. The block post in Kherson hardly ever got hit when I was there, like every couple of months. Now it's just daily getting hit, and it's getting hit not just with FPVs and artillery, but it's getting hit with things like Mjolnirs, which is a like small-ish Russian fixed wing with an anti-tank mine strapped to the front. It's a lot more dangerous to operate in the cities, you know. And yeah, Rubicon are like a dangerous unit and a big unit, and a unit that seems to be expanding, you know, and improving the professionalism of other drone units, which is, yeah, it's good. You know what I mean? No, never believe that like the Russians use men stupidly. If they allow their guys to fight in in an effective way, they're a dangerous enemy, you know. But it's not the men that are stupid, it's the way they get used. Rubicon doesn't get used stupidly. Don't really like eating McDonald's. There's one in New Hampshire. McDonald's are a bumberclark bunch of pussies at the end of the day, because they left Ukraine at the start of the war and ran off and didn't come back until like early 24 or late 23, I think. Whereas the Colonel, KFC, never left. The Colonel, you know. How long's a piece of string seen? I mean, you can do your course in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, depending what you're doing. Or you could, you know, and you could get thrown into a situation and go like it depends what section of your front is. It depends, like you might do a drone qualification, but in my day there weren't as many drones. So basically letting big brother letting you have a go at the console was way less common, which is sort of why I went more in the direction of bombs than flying the drones, because it was just something I could do, you know. I'm probably one of the worst drone pilots in Ukraine, you know, but one of its best, but a decent bomb maker and sapper, and a very effective sort of logistics organizer, you know, workshop organizer. Sallow is basically salted raw pig fat. You want to experience it on a cold day in the winter when you're hungry for the first time, and then your body will just go, yes, that makes sense. But you can fry it and grill it. This war's been massively innovation led. The drone units came out of basically enough individual commanders being like, fuck it, I'm going to let the guys do it, even though there's no paperwork job that says drone pilot at the time. We've got no funding for this. It's not part of the normal military system. It's all been grassroots. The workshops, it's all been grassroots. Piss. I bought some absolutely beautiful sallow from the market yesterday, and when I unpack it, when I got to see Commander Lashley at his cabin and we have a barbecue in a bit, I will take a photo of it. It had like little flower petals on stuff. Beautiful pig fat. You know, it's 7,000. Someone told me sallow is like 7,000 calories an ounce. I don't know if that's true. But it's a lot, you know. You can, and it keeps in a lunchbox in your bag, you know, really well. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's a lot of condensed. You can't realistically take enough MREs for a 10-day mission, but you can take enough sallow and crackers for a 10-day mission. Hang on a sec, guys. Well, health-wise, as you can say, I'm a 42-year-old man who smokes a lot, and I've got some problems with me gallbladder and me prostate that I'm going to have to do some more medicine for and go back to the hospital. But I'm more or less okay. But I'm no spring chicken anymore. You know, I had a couple of drinks. I had about 2 bottles of wine at that Special Forces wedding a week ago, and I had a hangover for 5 fucking days afterwards. So I'm really going to try and not drink as little as possible. Like, I'm going to a fucking barbecue with someone I'm glad to see alive. I'm probably going to have a beer or two today, you know what I mean? But I'm really trying to back off it because I just don't enjoy it as much anymore, and it's not worth paying the price with the hangovers, you know. But I wasn't drinking every fucking day when I wasn't doing the channel anyway, you know. Sometimes I didn't do anything at all day, including wash, you know. Swarms of AI drones. AI drones are gay and don't work properly. And like, it's much easier to train a human to be an absolutely amazing drone pilot and to make decisions than it is to get a microchip to do it. Yeah. They've got an AI. It was a press release that they've got an AI to be as smart as a fruit fly now. So yeah, getting it to be as smart as a bird, like a bird of prey, is a long way off. Any chance units could provide fireworks could pay a little more to cover some costs and help you make more fireworks? Well, I mean, the whole thing is it's a volunteer effort. So like, charging the unit the budget they get from the army it's something we would always try and avoid. Funny enough, a commander the other day was like, we might be able to help you out with setups, and I was like, well, we prefer not to take money, and I'd rather you were spending that money on your own workshops and sappers and stuff, sir. But you know, ideally the money comes from you guys. I make stuff and I sell it to the army, and you know, we're making the casings. They'll go to a different place, which is another volunteer run org, and they'll have explosives put on them, and then they'll go to the unit, or they'll go directly to the unit, you know what I mean? I want to set up my own explosives manufacturer here. Hi, British anti-terror. Whoop whoop. Don't worry, promise not to bring anything home with me. Give you a seminar as long as you pay me, you know. But yeah, that's what we're about, basically. There used to be quite a few Irish. I live in like I basically live in like some like, if we're talking Ireland, like some fucking village out in the middle of nowhere, West Cork. Do you know what I mean? Like, I live in like rural Western Ireland. There are no foreigners around here. If they do come here. They're like tourists or journalists, do you know what I mean? So I am quite cut off from the foreigners. I went and saw Ben in Lviv a couple of weeks ago, and like that was my first native English conversation in fucking months, you know. Sorry, yeah, so yeah, there are some Irish. There used to be more in 22. There might be loads, but I don't know these days. I'm out the loop. All the guys I came to Ukraine with have either left or are dead. There's probably like a handful of us, 10 to 15 left in Ukraine. And yeah, I had a great time when I visited Ireland. It was beautiful for 2 days, and then I spent the rest of my holiday in a moving grey ping pong ball that was about 100 metres wide. But the first 2 days were fantastic. Apart from having some unpasteurised black pudding from a butcher's shop in a village called Sneem that made me really rather sick. But the Guinness was great. Although it was during COVID, so we were having to buy a fucking meal every time we went for a drink. It was ridiculous. And yeah, thank you for whoever gave the 50 there. B, Breaking Dry. Thank you very much, mate. Do appreciate it. So, by the way, yeah, I meant to mention it. So, memberships for the channel. That's a thing you guys can do. If you guys feel like supporting the workshop, membership means that, like, it's a £5 a month. There are other membership levels of, like, 25 and 50, and then, like, hundreds, a couple of ridiculous ones are set. But, yeah, that's the thing you can do. However, YouTube apparently takes like 30%, right? Which is not information they make clear to us. You know, what we get paid by them for ad revenue and how many likes and views we get and all that is like a fucking enigma. It's a mystery. They don't make it clear to you at all. And what slice they take out that $50 you just sent me, I don't actually fucking know, because it's not all itemized. They just sort of collect it all. It kind of is in the data, but it isn't. Definitely not when it comes to super chat donations. I can't see the individual donations. So if you do want to send me some money and you're able, PayPal. My plan is this week to set up a bunch of other things so you guys can donate in other ways. Like there'll be a new Revolut account, for instance, or a Wise account or something like that. And then there's a few other platforms that I've seen other people use, and we're going to try them. So go from there. So yeah, we're coming up to an hour and 22 minutes now. Put the flower patches back up. Now, any English food I miss? I miss chocolate hobnobs. I miss HP brown sauce. I have an access to good Wick cheddar over here because they sell that in Silpo and in a big like cash and carry place like a Costco type thing that's called Metro over here. I would love to be able to get hold of like top proper English bacon, smoked or unsmoked. I've got lots of pig products over here, but no real bacon. English quality / German quality sausages are available though, so there's that and good black pudding. But yeah, I miss bacon. Sometimes it's hard to get decent beef, but I've managed to sort that out. And yeah, what else to miss? Like a really nice roast dinner would be good. I suppose I could make one myself, but like I never have cause to. It'd be nice. Like I'll tell you what I really fucking miss if we're talking about English food. Special fried fucking rice, no egg. I want special fried rice, no egg, crispy chili beef, an order of prawn wontons, some prawn crackers, and maybe some beef in a black bean sauce as well, and some sweet and sour pork Cantonese style. That's what I'd like, right? I haven't had a decent Chinese in years. That there are Asian restaurants in Ukraine, but they're just that, they're Asian restaurants, you know, and it's not fucking great, to be honest. There is a good Korean place in Lviv that is like genuine high quality authentic Korean food, but I don't really like chili. Well, my arsehole does not like chili. So, you know, I like the taste of Korean food, but I don't like the getting up at 3 in the morning and having to run to the outside toilet aspect of it. So yeah, I'd like a decent Indian and I'd like a decent Chinese, you know. Like, yeah, I miss that. Like, the quality of Ukrainian food is great, but it can get a bit bland. And unfortunately, the rest of the tourist restaurants, a lot of them in the Carpathians are fucking shite. They just cater to Ukrainian families who come here, and they've come here for some special family holiday or something, and they'll all go out for a meal, and they'll just give them basically like what your not very good at cooking working class grandmother grade food would make, you know. Like, yeah, it's not fucking great, so that sucks. So occasionally going to Ivano, Francisco, or Lviv, or getting an excuse to go to Kyiv, chance to go to a good restaurant is great. But yeah, right. Yeah, Ukrainian tastes are kind of bland, but you know, they're improving. They didn't really have restaurants or bars of any fucking sort until 1991. So, you know, give them a chance. But yeah, you know, you can have some flavorful meals here for sure. But yeah, overall quality of produce is fantastic. It's just a shame that everything costs twice as much since the start of the fucking war. Trin, you don't know how to cook. Well, you don't know anything about British food. British food is far from bland. The British food that people eat when they go to a crap pub or they go on holiday to London, yeah, it's shit. But, you know, you could say the same about, like, I'd say the worst cuisine I found in Europe was Belgium and the Netherlands, in all fairness. The quality of gas station food there was worse than anything I've experienced in Britain. But yeah, you know, like shepherd's pie is just a slightly different version of a French gratin. No one's calling a gratin bad. A roast dinner one done well is fantastic. You know, like, and then like every culture, you know, like we've got loads of casseroles and soups. We just don't maybe put them on as big. Like vegetable soup doesn't get a special name. You know, pea and ham soup doesn't get a special name in England, you know, but like they're still European food is all basically the fucking same, isn't it? Like Northern European food, you know, until the advent of the potato and the fast sailing ship, there wasn't really that much in the variety of ingredients, was there? So it's really all variations on the same thing. So yeah, like German people and Ukrainian people and British people arguing over who's got the best food. It's like, yeah, it's all pretty much the same, you know, because that's what ingredients people had. Yeah, Italian's definitely a superior food culture to English for sure. Portugal was bad food for you. Now that kind of surprises me. Um, was it in Lisbon? Because Portugal, like in my experiences, like Lisbon is just, and Porto is just horrible tourism. But like Portuguese food, especially if you go to like the mountains and like go past Coimbra, it's fucking great. And yeah, I like French food. There's beautiful women in every country, and I didn't come here to find a girlfriend or a wife. Came here to stop the enemy, and yeah, you know, there's pretty women in every country basically, and they're the same everywhere, you know. Portugal does have amazing wine, and Lisbon does indeed suck. The other side of the river's not so bad. It's a nice city to visit, but just like horrendous. There is a cafe the locals in that's next to the McDonald's in the centre of town, and that's pretty cheap and good. But yeah, not many gems in Lisbon. Just like, hey, would you like, any restaurant that needs someone outside to like usher me in, I just always avoid. I would recommend people visiting Kiev. Definitely now the winter's over. I mean, yeah, you might die, but you might get stabbed by a rude boy in London or run over by a drunk on a Bavarian road. Yeah, there's pretty women in every country, you know. There's pretty women in every country. Yeah, never found a country where there weren't attractive people. But yeah, you get ugly women here as well, you know. But yeah, I've sort of given up on all of that, basically. If it happens, it happens. I can't go on fucking Tinder, can I? Because assassination. So yeah, I'll meet someone at some point, or I won't. It's got to be someone who's comfortable with the fact that assassination might be a thing one of these days. So yeah, everyone's a patriot until. No, I wasn't out drinking last night. No. Oh no, it's a bit of a lie. I did have like 3 shots of cognac with the commander when he arrived and we got him to his cottage. So yeah, like I say, it only takes a little bit of alcohol to make me feel. I don't actually feel at all hungover today, but I probably look it a bit. It's the things about being middle-aged. You can't just shrug. Your body just doesn't let you shrug off the chemical abuse anymore. Is there a black pubbing version in Ukraine? What does that mean? You're not allowed to carry a pistol, but you can be. One part of the medal system is being given a presidential pistol that then you can carry when you want. And yeah, that's the one I want more than Hero of Ukraine. Get a gat off Zelensky that I can carry whenever I want. But no, I can have a gun license, and I can like I could like put that in the car, and then once I got into the combat zone, use that as drone defense with a gun license here. Yeah, that'd be fine. A Ukrainian black pudding is great. It's really good. There's a few different varieties of it. I like the one that's got like sort of kind of like dry, semi-dried spring onions in it. I mean, there wasn't much drug use freestyle. There wasn't much drug use I saw when I was in the army. But it definitely does happen. It definitely does happen. But like testing is really widespread now and common. So yeah, guys, but fucking hell, there's if guys are like in a cut-off position that you can't evacuate and they ask for some stay awakeys, it might not be the worst thing in the world to give them some stay awakeys depending on the context. Solar panel on top of my calf. Oh, because of the grid thing. Well, no, there isn't, but perhaps that's an innovation. It's a shame those little mobile solar panels never work properly. What is the brand of my hat? The brand of my hat was from some. I don't know. There's a brand. I got it from a tailor in Lisbon, in Portugal, when I was there. But it's an Italian-made hat. So, Hello, Josh Parks. Is that Bob Marley Brigade still a thing? Never heard of that. There's a Valkyrie Brigade or battalion that is just basically where they send all the truly hopeless alcoholics to do some kind of menial labour till the end of the war. That exists. Russia just sends them in on meat assaults. We're slightly more humane here. But yeah, you know, there's a time and a place for things. Like, would a professional soldier who hadn't been at the war for a few years and at the front and in trenches agree with what I'm about to say? No, they definitely wouldn't. But there's still a time and a place for a bit of fucking Dutch courage. You know, if there's like, say, a platoon of you and there's 200 of them come in, yeah, quick stiff drink before that, steadies your hand, you know. Yeah, there's a time and a place for things like that. And anyone who says otherwise has never been in a hole in the ground with some men who want to fucking kill them really close by, you know. So yeah, there's a time and a place, but would it be better if it didn't happen at all? Of course, you know, but there you go. The TCK, you know, it's like necessary but unpopular. I think the way they've carried out their work has probably been quite detrimental to recruitment at the end of the day. But then again, the management of the Ukrainian army under the fucking USSR and the fucking dynasty brigades, not brigades, but, you know, clan, has been responsible for damaging recruitment as well. So, you know, there's a lot of good reasons there's a lot of reasons that people don't want to join the military, and the TCK and High Command are part of that, you know. Okay, bye, Gilliam. Have a good day, mate. Appreciate the support. Yeah, there is a black pudding in Ukraine, Lyncher. There is, and it's great. There's a few different types of it. Ones that are just like British ones, and ones that have got a bit more spices or little chunks of meat in them. And then that gross one that the Germans do, where you just get this like pile of slop, but you don't see that very often. And yeah, the end salute is an insult to the Russians, and I'm never going to explain it because my bad pronunciation and the fact that no one knows quite what it means, and it's a Shuzhik insult, not a Ukrainian or Russian one. Basically, is how I get away with it. Yeah, and the snow, you know, again, the snow melt season, the winter. If you've got to go out and do 3 hours guard duty, right, in minus fucking 20, and your mate offers you a shot of cognac in your coffee before you go out, you're going to say no? I mean, you might if you're worried about someone sneaking up and cutting your throat, but most situations aren't fucking like that. You know what I mean? You just got a big old expanse. So, you know, don't be too hard. The thing about the military is it's their job to come up with way too many regulations in peacetime to make guys' lives hard. You know, there's a difference between being professional in a peacetime sense and being professional in a wartime sense. A fucking big difference, you know. I don't much care for the opinions of peacetime soldiers, really. The Germans did not fight well on meth during World War II. It was part of the Blitzkrieg to take France, and one of the reasons we got the army out, right, where Dunkirk happened, is they were gibbering fucking wrecks after 2 weeks. And if you think that there's some fascist super gene they've got that means that they can just do meth for 2 weeks straight and not be a gibbering wreck by the end of it, then you have zero fucking life experience around people who take drugs, and I do. So yeah, occasionally useful, but it's not something that you can do a lot of, you know. And again, if it wasn't for meth, they probably would have fucking captured the whole of the British and French army, but they didn't, because meth. The Ukraine mission, uh yeah, I've got a Nova poster, mate. But like, yeah, fucking. Oh, what one would I get you to send it to? Well, I'd have to give you my phone number then. So no, unfortunately not. I'm gonna have to work out some PO box thing with Ben in Lviv over the next weeks. You know, because yeah, you know, the prospect of the prospect of a mail bomb is fairly real. You know, so okay, just trying to keep up with what people are asking here. Ukraine. All right. The real William thinks that thinks that conscription isn't part of democracy. The real William is clearly historically ignorant of what many democratic countries have done. And if your semantic definitions of that are different, no one cares but you. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much, Magenta. I appreciate it. Not Magenta, rather. 50 is Ukrainian high command respected by the troops. 50-50. Yes and no. Skursky is both unpopular and respected at the same time. This much is true. The command has changed a lot since the start of the war, and there's way more young guys who weren't even soldiers, weren't part of the officer class at all at the start of the war, who are now battalion, brigade commanders, etc., etc. But there's also something I've seen, especially with my own unit, where you might get some young guy becoming the brigade commander, but if his uncles and dad are all entrenched USSR commanders, then basically it's still the shadow aristocracy fucking running things, you know. So yeah, it's complicated. How countries work are complicated. Good people and bad people, yeah. The good people seem to slowly be getting more power, but yeah, you know, is there a USSR kind of, those families were in power in the day and still are, shadow oligarchy aristocracy thing going on here? Yeah, for sure there is. I mean, look at the British system, you know what I mean? Like, our country's run by the students of a couple of private schools. Do you know what I mean? It's an aristocracy. Yeah, Zelensky didn't come into power from a coup, William. You're just mentally ill. Seek mental health support. But if you want to keep trolling, keep trolling. But I would advise you to seek mental health support. But keep trolling because it helps. It boosts the channel, which helps me get money to make stuff that we tie to a drone and go and give to the Russians. So yeah, keep trolling, man. I love it. It's very useful. I If NATO sends peacekeeping troops in, so what? Basically, so what? What peace would they keep? You know, like fucking, you know, you can declare peace all you want, but until like there's actually one side loses or can be happy with each other, there is no peace. There's too many guys on both sides who've just got stuff at their capabilities, you know, stuff at their disposal to that would make a big enough bang to restart hostilities, you know. So yeah. But yeah, people who say they love the country, but they wouldn't fight with it because they don't like the current government are traitors and cowards wrapped in the flag. Traitors and cowards wrapped in the flag. And while I wouldn't want to come back to England to deal with the invasion of refugees, I will come back to England to deal with those traitors wrapped in the flag should they ever come to power. That's a Big Mac promise. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised that a British unit got absolutely fucked by like a platoon of Ukrainian drone pilots at all. And I'm glad it happened on exercise. I'm also glad it happened before the Americans invaded Iran, which might have convinced the generals to actually look at Trump and go, do you know what's going to happen if we put those big landing crafts in and there's a few hundred American soldiers in, and the last thing you see on that video feed is them all going as the fucking massive FPV or wave of FPVs hits that thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Not that I want that to happen to American soldiers at all. I really don't, but it will if they fucking invade Iran. So yeah, hopefully the Ukrainians absolutely trouncing the Brits in those exercises in Estonia with drones will make generals make some more sensible choices before risking their men's lives. Oh, the dog is my commander's girlfriend's dog, so that's why I put that on the picture. His name is Leroy or Xenia, and he's a dachshund, and he's in love with me for some reason, and basically wants to spend his time on my shoulder like a sort of parrot scarf type deal. He's great. Onesock wants to fuck him. He was Onesock's. There's a vet. If you go back to my shorts all the way to the oldest, you'll see some of Onesock when he was a puppy and they're running around together. So yeah, it's fucking great to see Leroy or Xenia, you know. How are military so slow to get into drones? Because of arrogance, right? Arrogance and what's that word? Hubris. So one of the worst things I think you can say as a country or a military or a business, right, is we're the best, right? We're the best and we'll always be the best. And that's like a truth that we've set into our ego now, into our perception of ourselves, because then you don't fucking improve, you know? And that's how the British Army has ended up and the British Navy has ended up where it is today. You know, undermanned and under-equipped and under-motivated, and no one wants to fucking join because of the horrible fucking culture. You know, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's why America is happy to take so much shit, because, you know, saying that things are wrong would be un-American, because then you're saying we're not the best. Have I had to use a compass? Yeah, used a compass many times at the front. Easy way to quickest way to get a bearing that's more accurate than a point of a clock. And yeah, there are times when drones can't fly because of weather, and spotting scopes and compasses and stuff are nice bits of kit to have around on the position for those times. Thank you, Ochta Jack from Warsaw, and thank you to the people of Warsaw and Poland for all the support and help they've given to the Ukrainians. And yeah, you're right, ACR 909. Like, no intelligent young lad in the right mind would want to join the British Army at anything other than officer, because the pay's fucking shit, the conditions are shit, you know, there's no real useful training for the future. I mean, we all remember the stuff about deep cut Barretts, but like that Ukrainian lad, British lad who got captured by the Russians, he was at some army base in Scotland that wasn't deep cut, and there was like 9 of them. 9 people committed suicide from his unit that he knew, or something like that. There is no reason at all, right, even in wartime, while military training needs to be so horrible and the culture needs to be so toxic, that people are topping themselves. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But the way you get people to join a peacetime army is and to keep up all that shouty discipline, is you appeal to people who just like being horrible to people for no reason. I know loads of proper soldiers, obviously, I'm friends with them. We don't do all that shouting bollocks. Sappers, people who work with explosives, we certainly don't do shouting bollocks. Special forces, we don't do that shouting bollocks. It's fucking rubbish. Complete load of crap. I've met people who fly for Magyar, yeah. Yeah, and I've got like friends of friends who fly for them. They're a great unit, but again, as a territorial defence soldier who knows for a fact that there's TDF guys and guys from some random Ukrainian mechanized regiment that you have never fucking heard of, that fight shoulder to shoulder with SSO and GER and Magyar and the paratroopers and the Marines. We're all in the same line doing the same job. So I am disinclined to give these units too much. And it's a lot easier to get your drone scores on Brody's fucking scoreboard game if you're a TDF unit than you are in Magyar. So there, you know. If someone was terminally ill, could they come to Ukraine's help? Well, they could. They might not. I'm not saying they should. They're definitely not. We don't have suicide bombers, so it doesn't work. You know, the chances of you joining the military and then being thrown into a situation where you can give a suitably narrative heroic sacrifice are basically infinitesimally small. You could come to Lviv and volunteer doing some stuff, but you know, to be honest, if it's the end of your life, I'd be saying try and spend time around the people you love, or do something that you really care about, and maybe Ukraine is what you really care about. But yeah, you know, whatever you want to do, you know, it should be something where you can actually be, you know, if you want to be useful, you need to be useful. And I'm not sure, it depends how terminally ill someone is, you know, what sort of terminal illness. It's an expansive question, that, but I'd suggest not, you know. How do I feel about that? I stopped watching, like I asked guys to stop sending me videos of us just killing the infantry after a while. Seen enough of it. But you know, it's yeah, it's there are all sorts of reasons for publishing those videos, and I overall agree with the fact we do. But it doesn't mean I need to watch my fucking 100,000th fucking video of someone getting popped, you know what I mean? Right. Coming up to 2 hours now, so it's the last couple of minutes. Has anyone got any other questions? And I'm going to call it a day then. But yeah, thank you all for being with me on this live stream. Thanks for the support. if you could bother to copy and paste your last comment and then just go and stick it under the video in an hour or so once it's uploaded, that'd be fucking great, because apparently if I get over 100 of them, it keeps it up in the feed, so I'm told. But yeah, in amongst all the advice on how to do better makeup tutorials or pose for camera. Oh, so laser. Yeah, I fucking forgot. Big news. Right. So we completed the purchase of the laser yesterday. I put in another 20 grand for 20,000 for that, so like 500 quid. So that's being installed. To get everything that we need in the workshop and it's set up and the first load of steel, I think I'm about 7,000 away from that at the moment. So thank you very much, Josh, because that was you who sent me that grand up the, you know, thanks. So cut then. Thank you to you and your mates in Liverpool. So yeah, book haven't really worked on because I've just been setting up the workshop and then my laptop broke, but I'm gonna buy a new laptop soon, and then like I have to, you know. Was Time Bandits really a kids film? I mean, 50-50. A lot of children's entertainment from the past was pretty out there, you know, like Magic Roundabout, drug use at the end of the day, brilliant as well. How can people best support me and others in your situation? Well, basically find someone that you trust who you think's really doing stuff in Ukraine and send them money, or volunteer for a charity that supports Ukraine in if you are able to offer them the kind of labor they need, basically. So if you're an American, Ukraine Aid Ops is a great charity to donate to. There's loads of charities like Car for Ukraine, for Harley at UAOD, even fucking NAFO, although I can't say I like them much. They ain't my clique, that's for damn sure. You know, are driving cars to Ukraine all the time. But by the way, you certainly shouldn't be paying anyone to drive a car to Ukraine. And going to Kyiv is not a mission. You don't need body armor or a helmet or an IFAK. You big gay. How can we send you chocolate hobnobs? I will have to think. Are you in Europe or America or Britain? I've got to work out. I'm going to speak to Ben and work out some PO box thing, you know. But yeah, to be honest, man, if I want hobnobs or chocolate or anything, I'll just get Harley to bring me some stuff over, you know. Because yeah, you know, I'm just trying to keep like, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm trying to drink less, and I'm trying to make, like, you know, things that people try and kill me with that explode less as well, because I did a lot of that over the last couple of years, you know. And yeah, you know, besides, I don't need to get me fucking volunteers or any post office women killed either, do I? So yeah. No, well, the Yanks have rusks, and what is a hobnob but a rusk at the end of the day? So yeah. Yeah, McVitie's chocolate hobnobs. If you're American and you live near the border with Canada, you could go to a Walmart in Canada, and there they sell Yorkshire tea and McVitie's chocolate hobnobs, because the Canadians are a godly people. So yeah, that is an option for you. Perhaps you have a friend in Canada who can post some down, but they are the most sustaining biscuit, you know what I mean? You can 3 hobnobs and a cup of tea is actually breakfast. And yeah, if you want tea, you want Yorkshire tea or Yorkshire Gold. And 1 bag will do a teapot with 4 cups, right? 4 big mugs of tea. You just need to let it brew for 3 minutes. Put the water from a fucking kettle on top into the tea bag boiling. If you microwave the water, you are not a godly person. You are an abomination unto the Lord, and you shall repent for your sins. Yeah, well, when I was in British Columbia, they had Yorkshire tea and hobnobs in the Walmart there. But yeah, you know, I don't know if they've got them in Montreal with the French. Fucking hell, I think I've run out of matches. I don't know what I've done with my fucking lighter. We've got tourniquets, and combat daggers and fucking... The boss bought me a whole 120 mortar case the other day. You know, I've got all kinds of shit kicking around the car. I've got a remote detonation system so I can set off a sprinkler system at 7 kilometers. You know, I've got all this kind of stuff. I can't find bloody lighter. Bugger. Give me a sec. Ah, there we go. I was fucking sat on it. Can I throw a dagger? Yeah, I can actually. And I can throw an axe and a Russian USSR entrenching shovel very well. It's all about the distance with each thing you throw. 2.5 paces usually. It's not a zoot. It's just a cigarette made with these brown papers, because that's literally all I could find. They don't sell. You can't get fucking long papers here for one thing, and they don't sell. Yeah, so it's these smoking brown papers, and I rip up bits of cardboard to make the filters, because yeah, I do used to smoke a lot of I did used to smoke a lot of weed, but you know what, there isn't any fucking weed in rural Ukraine, and I haven't smoked a lot of weed for years because I was in the army. But yeah, I suppose my cigarettes probably do look a bit spliff-like. How many Russians do I think are killed? What, like individually? Or if I conclude all my efforts with the teams we worked in and the satellite data, it's about 1,500. So yeah, that I've had my hand in. And like more if you think about the weapons I've put in people's hands. But individually, about 50. Pretty hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, if they legalised weed in Ukraine and made it so you had to be a volunteer or a combat veteran to have the licence, I think that would solve veteran alcoholism and wounded veteran unemployment in one fell swoop, and I'm advocating for that. That is something I believe in. Real William was there when the volunteer base took rockets. What base was it, William? What base? What was it called? And were they rockets or were they something else? You know, sad little fuck. Peace breaking out? Fucking 0%. Yeah, thanks MMJ12. Well, yeah, there's bound to be some weed in Ukraine, but like, I know someone has, I possibly have taken a puff on the odd joint over the last couple of years that someone randomly had, and it was like we were teenagers. Do you know what I mean? Like, whoa, like one fucking joint between half a dozen guys, you know. But yeah, like I don't know, like Bristol in England's got like a very fluffy kind of scene like that, and over here you've got a like no weird alcoholic-y gangster dudes, I think, to buy drugs, and it's just not my scene, pal. It's not my scene. If peace broke out in Ukraine, I mean, yeah, it's my life here now, and I wouldn't have any favor. Like, no Ukrainian believes that like there would be like if peace happens tomorrow, right? If Putin has a heart attack and at the same time we work out where he is and we missile the shit out of the Russian cabinet, and then there's, you know, some kind of peaceful revolution in Russia and they become a sane and reasonable country, and they pull the troops out, we'd just be waiting for the next hardline nationalist to get voted in 5 years and start it all again. So the war doesn't end. Plus, I am a certified war criminal by the Donetsk People's Republic. So, you know, I'm not Budanov or Zelensky, but I'm on a list. So, you know, one day they might try and come for me. And here I have loads of veterans mates who own guns. And I'm friends with the police, and I'm friends with the intelligence services. And yeah, you know, like, I'm allowed to have a shooter, and back in England, I'm allowed none of those fucking things. And land is cheap here, and houses are cheap here, and there's financial help for veterans. And in England, there's none of those things. And all my friends are fucking heroes here, who've done amazing things and are courageous people who I genuinely believe would fight to the fucking death for me. And I don't have so much of that back in England. So, there you go. Ukraine for the win, you know? I mean, I've fought for 2.5 years and they've given me a house. I'm entitled to a house. It's not bad, eh? You know? Like the White Company going off to Italy back in the days. Now, there's an English tradition, if you know your English military history, young William. What about veterinary quality? Vets are great over here. The quality of medical care is great here if you've got a little bit of money. And if you don't have much money, it's about the same as the NHS and it's free. Also, yeah, I'm entitled to free healthcare after my military service here. I'm also entitled to one journey a year. And if the Ukrainian airlines start operating from Poland, you know I'm getting the furthest flight away I fucking can. I'm going to like Hawaii. Does Ukraine fly to... Can I get a flight with my veterans class from Warsaw to Hawaii? Because if I can, I fucking am. Yearly holiday in Hawaii. You know, why not? Yeah. I mean, if anyone wants to come and you know, try and assassinate me or track me down in the Carpathians, I invite you to. I invite you to. We've all got to die of something. Keeps life interesting. And yeah, just imagine what might happen if you go wrong. You know, fucking partisan, you know, Ukro-Nazi territory here, mate. We'd have a party, you know, we'd have a fucking party. Holes are already dug. I was on the Big Island when I was in Hawaii, and there's plenty of brothers there, you know, especially if you go down to Uncle Robert's, William. You know, if I wanted to hang out with fucking annoying American influencers, I go to Maui or something. But yeah, Hawaii, I was like hunting wild boar in the jungle with like just dogs and knives. I was hunting on my friend's land with a little 410 shotgun with slugs. You know, like going fishing with the brothers in the canoes with fucking tiger sharks swimming underneath us. You can still, yeah, like Big Island is man Hawaii. The other islands, that's for the tourists. Am I safe right now? Yes, I am safe right now. I'm in the Carpathians, sat in my car, gonna have a barbecue. All of my friends, everyone around me is a veteran or a volunteer, you know. Like, it's not like it's trying to set up a bomb making workshop in Kherson where you really got to be a bit careful about where people's loyalties lie. Well, Malaysia, when you say it's better than Hawaii, you know what I really liked about Hawaii is when you go walking in the jungle there are no snakes and there are no scorpions and there are no spiders that can give you a poisonous bite and there are no ticks. There are ticks, but they don't carry deadly disease. And there are no plants that are poisonous and can sting you or even scratch you. So you can literally walk ass naked through the fucking jungle, picking fruit off the trees and not have to worry about what would happen if you did that in fucking Malaysia or Vietnam or South America, which is like, oh, I felt a pain on my leg. Ah, you have been bitten by a snake. Now you are dead, you know. Or you drink a bit of water from a stream in Panama and catch a disease that, you know, they don't even know the name for you. Hawaii is like actual paradise because the nature isn't trying to kill you. And you can do beach and jungle and savannah and snowtop mountain all in the same day if you want. Oh yeah, buy me a coffee I stopped using, and I don't know why that's popped back up on the, for some, like, if you look on my normal channel, it's not there in the description, but fucking it comes up on buy me a coffee and on live stream, and I don't quite know how to get rid of it yet. I'll work on that this week. But yeah, PayPal is preferred. You can donate money on here, but YouTube take fucking 30%, which is more than tax at the end of the day. So yeah. Yeah, I would like to see Australia. I would genuinely like to see Australia. Somewhere I'd consider retiring to as well, you know. Um, yeah, I'm told YouTube takes 30%. What they actually take is as clear as mud from reading all the terms and stuff, you know what I mean? They do not, they don't, they give you the, YouTube give you the money back that they feel like, basically, and they pay you what they feel like. So, you know, Mr. Beast gets way more money per views and likes and shit than like anyone else does. You know, it's completely disproportionate. There's no fairness across content creators. They tried to sort it out years ago. There was a channel called the Slingshot channel with Jorg Sprague, and he tried to start a YouTubers union, and then he like made it part of this union in Germany, and then that union, probably with financial pressure from YouTube, immediately like pushed him out, you know. So there were no content creators involved in the YouTubers union. So yeah, that's how it is. Big business, and we're all just suckling on its corrupt and unfair teats. Australia, well, yeah, Ukraine has like doubled in price though. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, so I saw that thing. I made a short about it. Fucking JD Vance goes to Hungary and makes a deal with Orban, who's meant to be out, you know, the elections in a couple of days now. And fucking offered to sell Hungary HIMARS. And it's like, well, if you sell Hungary HIMARS, you're basically selling Russia the plans for the HIMARS. So that doesn't seem smart. And by the way, the people in the comments on that video going, oh, the Russians have HIMARS. They're called Uragans. So fuck off, mate. The Uragan is nowhere near as fucking accurate. Nowhere near as accurate. It's old as fuck. Yeah, I mean, they're big, you know. And they're also, the rockets are very unreliable, because I have taken apart, I can't remember now, 50 or 60 Uragan tubes with all the cluster bombs inside to turn into drone bombs. So yeah, like that was not a smart move from the increasingly unreliable and unpredictable former ally we call America. Hopefully they sort it out soon and get back to some sensible stuff. Yeah, same goes for the Smirch and the Uragan. I mean, those Iranian ballistic missiles were basically just Uragans and Smirch with like a very, very simple GPS guidance system, about the same as the Shaheed in it, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's a big old difference between a proper missile and a rocket. Big old difference. And a ballistic missile. Van Teacher. Well, I actually, believe it or not, for Mr. Van Teacher, I went to South Africa when I was 13. We got some family over there, and we spent nearly 9 weeks in South Africa, and we were in Kruger Park for like 5 weeks. And then we were in Durban and Umhlanga Rocks for some time, and then we were in the Drakensberg Mountains. So I have been on safari in Africa, and it was awesome. But unfortunately, South Africa falls into the list of countries that I will probably be better off avoiding in my future, at least for the now, given the current political climate, you know. I'm not scared of dying, but yeah, the rest of my life being bummed in a Russian jail probably wouldn't be that great. Yeah, free Kurdistan indeed, mate. Anyway, right, we're at 2 minutes and 15. So yeah, it's goodbye from me, Joe McDonald at BigMacs BattleBlog. It's goodbye from Charles Bronson. And as always, to our pro-Russian and Vatnik listeners, Idina Hoysalupa. Bye Huff, bye Postal, bye Oracle 9999. Goodbye everyone. See you later. Have a good Sunday. And please do try and fucking leave a comment once this thing's uploaded so it gets boosted in the feed. Much love to you. Catch you soon. Appreciate all the comments and subs and donations and all of that. So yeah, I'm going to be loads of content this week from the workshop, so I'll keep you updated.